Well, to start this video out with, I want to do a quick thrift haul and then show you a couple other things. But right now I'm going to do the thrift haul, and it's not very much. But it was some things I wanted and I saw, and they were cheap, so I got them. I got this little glass jar. I thought it would be cute done up. It was 50 cents. Not cheap for a jar, but you don't get many glass jars anymore, and that's a cute square one. So I bought that, and then I went over into the floral area, which it didn't have a lot, but I dug through there, and I found this pick here with the berries on it, and some of them, 2 of them have a little white spot, but I can cover that up with a little paint, and I like that. And then I found these 2 little picks with the, looks kind of like daisies on there. These were all 25 cents a piece. So that was a pretty good price. And then I also found for 50 cents this little hanger with the, I don't know what it is, but it had some cute little eggs and a nest. And it was 50 cents, so I got that. I know I can use that. And then I went over in the craft department. What did I find there? Okay, got 2 things from the craft department. And I'd seen this here. Let me move these somewhere in this room. But I saw this the last time I was in there, and I left it, and I thought, why did I leave that? That was a good piece of wood, and I'm sure somebody has made it. I can do that over. I'm not sure if I'll make a salt box house out of it or another checkerboard, but I'm not a fan of the blue. So I'm going to do, this will be something I can do over, and it was, pretty sure it was 50 cents, but there's no price on it. But I didn't spend very much, so it was probably 50 cents. And then these were $1. There are a couple of chippy brushes. I use these a lot. They were new, so I picked those up. And then I went over by the frames. And I'm always looking for frames that I can use that are wood. You just don't find wood much anymore. And I found this. It was 50 cents. It was a nice little frame from Frames and More in Enid, Oklahoma. That's probably been a handmade frame that they've put together for that print, I guess. And then this was another little cheaper frame, but it was $1. And of course I won't be leaving this in here, but I like the wood frame. All right, now I've got to go into the other room. I got one thing off of Facebook Marketplace that I bought, and another item that my husband's friend, well, actually, he's from Texas. He's bought some property down the road from us, and he comes in ever so often. And he was here for supper last week, and he was looking around my house, and he saw that I liked old things, and he said he'd bring me something, and he did, and I couldn't believe it. So, when he was here, was it night before last? No, he was here last night for supper. I fed him again because he comes in and he's by himself, and I always fix plenty, so we invite him down, and he came down and he brought me what he said he was going to bring me. I couldn't believe it. All right, let's go take a look at that. This is what I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. It was $50, and it still had the sewing machine in it and the treadle. I'm going to redo all of it. Not a whole lot, but I'm going to make it look better. I'll probably clean off the treadles and the underneath the wrought iron, and paint that all up black, and probably sand off the cabinet part of it and just put a little something over it to make it look better. It's actually in better condition than my mama's that I have, because I have a lot of this going on my mother's. and her little drawer is missing. Well, actually, the treadle and the drawer, because my mama was tall and she had long legs, and all that. Well, she didn't have a treadle machine, for one thing. She had an old Singer, but it was electric. And she took all that out and removed the drawer. It's probably around her place somewhere, but who knows where. My sister's there now. She hadn't run across it yet. But I opened up this drawer, and it still had the old pieces in it. But I'm going to make this over. And the machine actually still turns. The needle still turns on it. And I'll bet if it had a belt on it, it may even sew. But I'm not going there. I have a newer sewing machine. Although my mama, on her older Singer sewing machine, she could sew leather and everything. It was much better. It was a lot better machine than the new one that she got. But it finally gave up. So she'd let go of her old one and get a new one. And actually, the top of this is in pretty good condition. Once I sand this down, it's in pretty good condition. But that's what I got off of Facebook Marketplace. And now I'm going to show you what Craig gave me. Okay, he brought me this. It's an old, I think it was early 1900s, you know, where you make butter. Anyways, and it still turns real easy, super easy. And the paddles, I can't really see down in there. I guess you can a little bit. The paddles are in really good condition. I've seen all glass. I've never seen one with like a tin container. Although, when I looked it up, most of them was, well, they look just like this, but the only thing is on the back, where this one still has this little cap here that unscrews, which it still unscrews. That's where it was kind of a spigot. Most of them was missing the spigot part of it. I only found like 3 of them though. But I was tickled to get that. I will clean it up just a bit. I don't want to do a lot to it, but I will clean it up and maybe spray something just to preserve it and to keep it from rusting anymore. But I was really happy to get that, and he thought enough of me to bring it to me. All right, I'm going to get into a craft now. All right, I have a 32-inch long board here, 9 inches wide, and I've made a stencil to go on it. And I was watching, what was her name? Bridget's Primitive Passion. And she was making over her porch for the summer. And she had a sign hanging up somewhere on her front porch. And I liked it. And mine's not just like hers. I made it my way. But I liked it, so I am going to do that. And here, can you see that right there? I had tested Dixie Belle drop cloth or the crockery by DIY, the cottage color. And I've decided, since I want it kind of primitive looking, I'm going to go with the crockery. It's kind of has a grayish brown tint to it. I think once the whole board gets covered, it'll go good with what I'm doing. Now, I am just going to give this whole board a good coat. I don't know if I'll do a total coverage or what, but I'm going to just get this done and let it dry well, and then I'll show you the stencil that I have to go on it. And this is Patriotic. I keep thinking I'm going to do something a little different the next video, and I end up doing another Patriotic. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and I'll be back. Alright, I just put one coat on here, and you can see I didn't go all the way to the edges or anything, because I think after I get my stencil on, I'm going to sand it back then, the whole thing. But I made this in Silhouette software. I don't know if I can fit all this in the camera or not. But it says America, and then I put a star on each side of the 1776. And I've got to pull this up off of there and try to get it lined up here straight. And I'm going to do that off camera because that's not the easiest things to do. When this stuff sticks, it's stuck. So I'm going to get my stencil on here and figure out what colors I'm doing what and get this stenciled on. Now, I've finally got that pulled down on there, and I threw that paper or that transfer stuff away. It is just way too sticky. But I'm using Flamenco Red, my apple barrel. And I'm going to do the America in that. And I believe just the English Navy, my apple barrel, on the 1776. And maybe the stars. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to get this done. And then when I finish it, I think I'll take it out to the garage and sand it back some. And I have to watch for spots that are coming up. I don't want this to bleed underneath there. But if it does some, it's okay. It's rustic looking, and I'm going to take it out and sand it back some. But I'm going to do my best not to get the bleeding underneath the film. Well, I have it stenciled, and I used the blue, but I decided to try to make this look rusty, and it might look too red. I don't know. We'll see when I pull it off. But I put on the bottom, I put the traditional Burnt Sienna by Deco Art Americana and Red Spice kind of on top of that. So
you don't know where them...
Well, I'm back. I had to go help him find something. And I'll finish this up now. I'm pulling this off. So far, not much bleeding at all. I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm going to finish weeding this out. And then I'm going to take it out to the garage and sand it down a little bit. And probably go over it with some wax, clear wax, and then some dark wax around the edges and put a hanger on it. I took it out to the garage and distressed it some with my sander. And now I'm just, going to give it a coat of the clear wax. And this will protect all of it. And then I'm going to go back over in spots with my Jolie brown wax. And probably put a wire hanger on it. And I don't know if I probably won't put a messy bow on it. Because I want it, I think, just like it is. And it'll be finished. And next week, let's see, I'll be leaving, I don't remember, let's see, 25, 24, 23, 22, about the 21st to go to Missouri and spend that week and come back on the following Sunday with my daughter. And we're heading to Indiana. I'll go in there on a Wednesday. I'll get there on Wednesday evening, spend the night, and get up the next morning, and we'll go to Indiana. And it's all the way almost to the Ohio border where we're going. And we'll be spending, it'll be me, my daughter, and my niece. And we're going to spend some time together, do some shopping, and I'm going to try to film. And I don't know how I'm going to handle my store, because I've looked on there, my Buy Me a Coffee store. I've looked on there, and I don't see a vacation status. I think I'll have to shut it down and then open it back up. I hope. I'll probably email them and ask, or somewhere find an answer to my question on how I deal with that. But going down there, I'm going to spend my birthday weekend. Well, I'm actually heading back on that Sunday, and that will be my actual birthday. So, but I'm looking forward to spending that time with my daughter and my niece. My niece, her mama, my sister, passed away. Oh my, time flies. I think my sister passed away about, hate to even talk about 7 years, or not 7, 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember. And my niece was more like my sister than my sister was, because my niece was more my age. And we grew up playing together, and I look forward to seeing and spending some time with her. But anyways, I wanted to let you all know, if I don't get some videos out next week, you'll know why. I'm going to be trying to enjoy myself with my daughter and my niece. Alright, I've got that, I think, good and coated. I'll pick it up and look at it and make sure. And I'll wipe it back, and then I'm going to go back over it with some dark wax. Now, I have started with my dark wax. And I'm putting it on pretty heavy, and I'm going to wipe it back. And I'm going to put a wire hanger on it, and I'm going to call it done. And by the way, I appreciate everybody on all the orders that I've got off my store. I really do appreciate it. And I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can, and get them to you in a timely manner. And I do really, I really appreciate it, because I bought a laser and I'm paying for it, and I love doing it, and I love creating the files. It's just, I like it. But I was kind of wondering, why did I do that? It's costing me money. That's an expensive hobby. Because I like it. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy life. And creating is what I enjoy. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you don't hear from me next week, there's a reason. I'm with my daughter and my niece. I'm going to Missouri and then heading over to Indiana. So until the next one, guys, I'll see you later.